Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for a back and bicep day. A little bit of a disclaimer, my forearms, particularly like my radial brachialis, my extensors, are actually destroyed. So as soon as I started trying to do pull-ups, even the first bodyweight one, they felt so crampy and painful. I was scared I wasn't going to be able to train my back at all, but I actually did. And again, that's a kind of an effect I noticed of maybe doing the extra overhand grip pulling and stuff a little while back, and then doing that double benching. So I realized that's one reason it's not going to work. It just really beat my whole forearms up. And the shoulders are actually feeling fine today. They're kind of recovering. They feel good, but those forearms. So it's just interesting because, again, I wanted to work on just back stuff. So what I did with the pull-ups, I wanted to take kind of just a shoulder width grip for me, which felt like shoulder width, so just straight up, and do sets from a dead hang. So I really wanted to focus on quality. And again, I know on pull-ups, people are like, oh, you don't always get high enough, and that's okay. Look at my back. Like, they still work my back, but I tried to go to a dead hang. So my goal on these reps was to get my scapula apart, get a dead hang. Notice I swing there, like I'm just swinging. And just get the best range of motion and just take sets till I didn't feel like I could do another clean rep. We get to the hang to the bottom, we're done. It ended up being like 4. You guys have seen me crank out reps with heavier weight, but with a little less range of motion without focusing on the stretch and everything. And that's okay. So I think on the pull-ups, I really just want to focus on quality. I want to focus on the harder variation. So for me, doing that closer grip is actually more difficult, although I may come over and do some of the wider grip, but I can't get nearly as high on a wide grip, even though I might move a lot more weight. So again, just kind of want to focus on the rep quality a little bit. So yeah, on this stuff, I didn't even bother with underhand grip stuff today. I'm like, let's just work on the back. I feel like, again, for the benching, if I want to get my bench up, I want to make sure my upper back is good. I may do something a little different with my benching coming up. I'm thinking about some stuff. So again, I kind of rotate between overhand grip and underhand grip on my different back work. And if nothing else, we prevent overuse. It's not a bad thing. But I feel like, again, I've kind of overtrained my biceps if I'm not careful, because I've been trying to push them so hard to bring them up. And they've gotten better. They still need a little bit of catch up. But if anything, at this point, I don't know that it's the biceps more than just my triceps. So we may just get more tricep focused. But I also don't want my back to get neglected. So I do like to have days where it's all overhand grip. Now, interesting, try to do these rows fairly strict. And again, I actually was chatting with a friend about this today before the vlog. And I'm like, man, I felt weak on these compared to my pin lays. He's like, it could be the fatigue, you get the positional fatigue from your heavy deadlifts all the time. And there could definitely be some truth to that, because I deadlift really heavy every week. Because again, all right, I use the same weight, right? This is where we laugh. I got more reps. Now, granted, I get a reset at the bottom, but the pin lay rows, the seal rows, which are stricter, I use the same weight. I got 8 reps instead of 6. But, neither here nor there. Either way, I felt like I got a good back workout. I was going to try to do 12 sets for my lats today, but I'm like, you know what? As long as that forearm is that fatigued, maybe it just wouldn't be wise. Let it heal. 9 quality sets like this is plenty for my middle back, my upper back. This is a good amount. I definitely like to have some weeks where I'm hitting 12 sets again, which, we did last week. But this is good too. So I think next week we may come in and go ahead and do a dumbbell row 2 just to get 12 total sets, and then come in and try to do at least 6 high quality sets for biceps after. And that's going to be the main thing. I think for me at this point, I need to stop trying to just overtrain weak points and just say, look, can we just train them effectively? Right? Because my weak links are not necessarily genetic. Yeah, I have long arms. Yeah, there's other stuff. It's due to lack of training correctly, or more of, hey, let's curl after we squat and bench and stuff for years when we did do it. Like, this is a problem. So at this point, I'm like, if I just train my arms hard, let's just do that. So again, what I want to focus on more and more, and you guys noticed me start doing that recently anyways. I'm not coming in trying to do biceps twice a week. I'm like, let's just do them after back, and let's just focus on really high quality sets, right? So in this case, the alternating dumbbell curls, taking them as hard as I can, right? And these are a little looser, but what happens here? We work all 3 functions of the bicep. And it's a little looser because it's standing, but we have the preacher curls to go super, super strict. So it's like we have a looser movement like this. We work all the functions, right? We obviously flex the elbow, but then we supinate the wrist. We bring it up, again, that extension of the shoulder. So we work all those functions of the bicep independently, really, really hard sets. These actually light my biceps up a lot. So if anyone, it's occasionally you get people who will say silly stuff like, is this working the biceps? They're thinking it's like a front raise, and they're not realizing because it's a front view. My arm is swinging pretty far out in front of me. It is definitely out there. So it's not like a drag curl, to where I'm rotating it up. My hand is way out in front. I almost need a side shot so that people see that my arm is extended pretty far out, and then I'm curling it up to the face. So yeah, the bicep activation is pretty intense. But I also get that brachialis and forearm in there too with that hammer grip. But yeah, I like these. I've started doing these recently because I really, really feel them. And again, I feel like this is an exercise you can't go wrong with, And also notice I keep the wrist cocked back a little bit so that when I get to the top, my bicep is still loaded, right? There's still tension on the bicep when I get to the top. I'm not wrist curling it up over. So if you notice, my forearm is back just a little bit at the top, and then the wrist is back. So it doesn't remove the tension off the bicep. And that's kind of one of the things. So yeah, I feel these a lot. I feel the whole upper arm. I do feel the forearms and everything too, but the bicep contraction is really intense on these. So I like it. I get a really good burn. So that's why I've started doing them. Again, an exercise I feel like I personally get a lot out of. And then of course we finish up with preacher curls afterwards. So these I pick at a weight. Everything else was like 4 to 8 reps today. These I'm going a little higher because I want to get a good burn. So I picked a weight I can get 10 reps with, and I managed to get 10 every time. I hit failure on the last one. I tried to get another rep and couldn't. So we got within 1 rep of failure the first 2 sets, then we hit muscle failure on the last set. But again, you guys can tell there it's getting hard working. And I'm trying to just hit my full range of motion on these. Notice I hit a bit of a stretch at the bottom, and I know people are like, that's where my elbows lock. I've shown it over and over. That's why even you guys saw the dead hangs overhead. And it's been that way, really. I don't think that's ever not been that way. Sometimes the camera angles didn't show it. But at meets, I've always had to deal with the lockout thing and to show the judges my whole lifting career. This is what it is. It's not painful. So people need to grasp that too. That just seems to be literally what my joint does. It doesn't hurt. It's not like, I feel like I'm pulling something. No, I feel like it's the full range of motion of the joint. Like to me, that is a stretch. So this is what it is. And you guys see the same thing when I did the hangs on the pull-ups and all that. But yeah, these felt good. So 6 high-quality sets for biceps here at the end. 6 high-quality sets for biceps just to finish off. So again, all in all, good workout. Did 9 sets for lats, 6 sets for biceps. I pushed everything pretty hard. Again, went a little easier on the lats with total volume because of my forearms. So hopefully by next week they'll be in a good place. I'm only going to bench once. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.